Meshuggah drummer Tomas Haake talked about the band's songwriting process, explaining how the tunes come to be. He told Songfacts, "We've been doing it the same way for a long time now. We sit by a computer, usually me and a guitarist or sometimes just the guitarists on their own. It starts with a riff or sometimes even the drum beat is the leading factor in what kind of riffs you're writing. I'm not a guitar player, so I will generally have an idea that I program drums for, and then I explain that idea to one of the guitarists, and then we take it from there. So in the writing process, it's always programmed drums because we're so accustomed to that now. It's fairly quick to do changes by programming drums. That's the starting point for each and every song, and that's how we've been writing for a long time." He continued, "I can sing an idea, but normally, as we're not a very melodic band, it's very rarely a melodic starting point, it's always a rhythmical one. That goes for most of us in the band. It rarely ever starts with something that is a melodic take on something, but more of a rhythmical idea for a song that will be the context of that song as the starting point. In that sense, we've always been a rhythmical band, but that doesn't just apply to me as a drummer, being the rhythm section of the band. Everyone else in the band, that is definitely the starting point, the rhythmical aspect of a riff, or the rhythmical aspect of drums, and then you try to write riffs for that rhythmical idea." Tomas was then asked about being the band's primary lyricist, replying, "For the new album I wrote 9 out of 10 lyrics that are on there. Martin still writes, he wrote a couple on the last album, and maybe 3 before that on Obsin. So yeah, it's not just me, sometimes it's Martin as well. But I go through periods, usually in the winter, when it's dark and gloomy out, when I tend to write, whether there is a song to write lyrics for or not. I usually have a bunch of lyrics laying around, so it's quicker and easier for me to apply, to just go with the vibe of a song. Once we have song structures, you start applying the vocals to that, to take the song to the next level. To actually hear what the songs can be, you need the lyrics to be on there. As I usually have a bunch of lyrics laying around, I will try to figure out what the vibe of this song is and figure out if I have any lyrics that will go well with that vibe and try to apply them to the song. Usually, I use a heavily distorted microphone, so I just have to whisper into the microphone and it sounds like someone is screaming their ass off. It actually gives us a good idea of what the song is going to be like with Djent's vocals once it's done, because it's not too far off from the sound that it would be once he adds his vocals to it.